Now back from hot topics to dry topics. Has anyone charged their EV in Tacoma recently? Oh, for shame, because we now have the best bargain in the Puget Sound, 21 cents per kilowatt hour for level 2. Since 2011, Tacoma Power has been on a $2 for 5 hours rate per session. So the cost of entry was $2, even if you wanted a 15-minute hit. But with the required legislative change to sell by the kilowatt hour, we finally made that change on January 1st. And the big thing is that rate is also going to apply to DC Fast. So that's less than half of the going rate for most DC Fast stations. We're currently in planning of the first utility-owned DC Fast stations, but Tacoma Power has decided to go all in on owning and operating our EVSE and not ceding the ground to private charging network providers. Yes, sir.
What can you do to inform other individuals out there who are still charging by the hour? How can you...
The Department of Agriculture will be responsible through their Weights and Measures division for enforcing this. EVSE near you will soon have a little sticker, just like a gas pump, for which we will pay, I believe it's $18 a year per head, and that will not buy us any accuracy or other inspections.
So if they're not doing their job, you can actually tweet a little wording to the
report that.
Yes.
Of Agriculture.
Yeah, all EVSE as of January 1st must be either free or charged by the kilowatt hour, not by time.
Some people are going to just free.
Is this all the private owners of DC fast charging stations or just publicly owned?
Only publicly owned and operated DCFC and level 2. But we operate on, we have ChargePoint branded equipment and Flow branded equipment and Amp Up branded equipment, all owned and operated by Tacoma Power. And finally, just today, I got the proof of the sticker that will let you know it's operated by Tacoma Power. And yes, sir. Nothing more? Okay, so we expect to go from 120 to over 300 city-operated charging stations this year. That's enough for Tacoma Power. Here's Seattle City Light in the surrogate form of grace.
Yeah, I wish I was at Seattle City Light. No, we had wonderful help from Billy's wife, Judy, who worked at City Light for 29 years, just retired, turned us over to her colleague to say, yep, Victor will keep you informed about what's going on with the city's charge station installations.
So where's Victor?
I know. I contacted Victor and he said, well, none of us are available tonight. So hopefully he will come to the next meeting. But he did send me a little email update on kind of where the city is right now. So just wanted to share their new updates on charges for charging. Starting on the 18th, so that's going to be next week, user fees are going to increase by 1 to 2 cents per kilowatt, depending on the charger type and time of day. New fees are going to be 21 cents a kilowatt hour for level 2. And for DC fast charge, he didn't say DC fast charge, but I assume he means this. It's going to be 36 cents a kilowatt during the daytime. That's hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so high use times. Monday through Saturday, Sunday will be different. But then drops down to 22 cents for the off hours. So that's nice, but still 36 seems like a lot, but that's the city for you. And then I asked about an update on the DC fast chargers that City Light's been installing. And yes, they do have several of them now. I think like 9 or 10 at least. But they are working on 4 others. One of them is going to be on the waterfront at Seneca and Western. And that site is under construction right now. Don't have an opening date yet. That's to come. There'll be a new one in Shoreline as well at the Central Market there, and that is in the design process. Also, a new one is coming to Morgan Junction over in West Seattle. That is only in the proposal stage, though, so quite a ways off to when it actually opens, I expect. And then, oh, that's the only 3 that they have They do have a map online, just in case you're interested. So they're working on it, but it's very slow. By now, they were planning to have at least 20 up and operational, and it sounds like maybe by the end of this year, we might have 12. I don't know.
Yes.
I will point out, Judy and I both retired 10 days ago from our respective jobs, and everyone should know that City Light has not blacked out at least this neighborhood in Judy's absence.
Congratulations. Good point.
Where are my bolt cutters?
And that's not a Chevy Bolt. Okay. And then one final thing is that I did want to find out about I did want to get an update about the level 2 public chargers. They're planning to put on the curbside that all of us participated in. I am applying for where to put those things last year, and they were supposed to be installed last quarter, and they didn't. And from what they said now, that they plan to start installations by the end of the first quarter of 2023. So that means hopefully by March, they might be starting to install some charging. Currently, they're working through the verification process of the sites prior to applying for use permits. And then construction later, hopefully this quarter. We'll see. They do have a website. They could not tell me any kind of expectation of when we might be able to know where these sites are going to be, or how they're going to be marked, or what they're going to look like, or anything like that. I did actually see one at the Seattle Car Show, and I believe they were at the booth next to you, right?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, okay, and it looks like pretty nice. They're going to be mounted on utility poles, but we still don't know where they're going to be. So hopefully we'll get more clarity next month.
Oh, please forgive me. I was remiss in my Tacoma Power update. We now have 19 curbside EVSE operating on utility poles throughout the neighborhood business districts.
Way ahead of Seattle. Yes. Thank you, Tacoma, for being a good example.
But as always, cord cutting remains an issue. I had to repair 3 EVSE after this past weekend. We've got a tweaker with a very, very sharp, fast implement, but he leaves over a foot of copper stub hanging off of each station that he cuts.
How wasteful.
How wasteful, yes. Now I get to recycle those cables. I've been forming a network of EVSE administrators to share intel on renewal contracts with the network providers and such. So if you are in a business or government entity that administer hosting agreements, would love to get you into that circle. We had a nice meeting with a number of utilities this morning. Yes, sir?
I've always wondered, do you think that's why they don't provide the cables in Europe?
Yeah, it's common sense. We gave extension cords to the weather, and they suffer, and they get damaged, and they get cut, they get rolled over. But we don't have to coil that sloppy thing into our trunk every time we charge. But it's the biggest variable cost in running the EVSE network. Yes, Corey?
At least we don't have drive-offs.
We don't have drive-offs, but we do have rollbacks. There's a few models of car out there where you can take it out of park and just roll without the car actually starting. A number of IMEV owners have yanked their charging outlets out that way. In the back. Did you have one too? No? Yes, sir.
Sorry, I was...
Oh, just scratching. That's all. That's okay. I'm used to subtle hints.
What a very attentive person. Picking up on everything else.
All right. Okay, and there was one question at the beginning of the meeting about the SEVA thread on CHAdeMO and vehicle to home. Oh, wait, that's another piece of the Tacoma Power update that I forgot. All of our DC fast charger deployments for the foreseeable future will be dual standard. So you second-class citizens with your CHAdeMO cars can still plug them in, or you Tesla elites with your adapters for anything you can also plug in. But
Take
only
that,
into
electrify
I
America.
like your idea too about opening up the supercharging.
Thank you. Yes, the proof of NACS would be a CHAdeMO adapter. let the riffraff in, and we'll be nice. So any other questions about the Chatham vehicle to grid project that may be gelling within the club? I will contribute a Chatham cable if somebody wants to build something. Not yet. Okay. Earth Day events with Express Credit Union.
Absolutely, and Jeff might know more about this as well. We do have Earth Day coming up in only about a little over 3 months, and it's kind of our opportunity to do a first kind of show for the season. So we did one last year. It was small, but we had some very good feedback. Express is kind of specializes in energy efficiency loans. For your house, for your car, to get an EV. And so they have a really good partnerships with other people too. Now let's see if I can find that email. Because I know I've got it here somewhere. Just a matter of where did I put it? There we go. Okay, so I've been working with Elizabeth at Express Credit Union. And she did say that they are partnering with Plug-in America and EVs for Everyone to make sure that they get the low interest loan program for EVs. And they particularly want to help serve areas that are underserved by electric vehicles and help people who maybe are spending a lot on gasoline be able to switch over to EVs because that will end up saving them money in the long run. And so they are suggesting that last year we did a show at Greenbridge, which is the low-income housing project over in the West Seattle-ish area. And this year they suggested that maybe we try it's called the Duwamish River Community Hub. And it is a community center operated by the Port of Seattle, located in South Park. It is right near the South Park Bridge. It's right at the major intersection of Cloverdale and 16th there. And they do have a nice little center there. The people there are very interested in hosting an event, apparently. And so I checked it out, went to see what the story would be like. It's not a very big facility. There's only 18 parking spaces in the parking lot. So it would definitely be a smaller kind of event if we were able to do something. But we'd be partnering with the credit union. They would help us with that. There is a charge for renting the parking lot. I looked that up too.
What's the name of the facility?
It's called the Duwamish River Community Hub. It's at 16th and Cloverdale. And the charge for 3 to 4 hours would be $120 to rent the parking lot, and then we'd have access to restrooms in the building as well. We don't know if we want to spend that kind of money, but hopefully the credit union might cover most or all of it. I don't know how much they'd be willing to do yet, but I definitely told them I'd talk to the organization first and see what you guys thought. My other suggestion would be to try doing a car show here at the church, because we do have a nice parking lot out there. Actually, 2 parking lots that the church owns, both of those. They don't really have a way to clear all the other gas cars out of it, though, as they do allow other people to use this parking lot. So that it may be a mix of electric and gas cars. So that might not be the best option either. But the church folks have expressed interest in having us come and do that, and we would rent from them as well, but probably not for quite as much as $120. So those are 2 ideas. We might actually want to even do 2 events, not at the same time, at different times, maybe different days during that week that Earth Day is happening, the 3rd week of April. But then we'd have one in the south part of Seattle and then one in the more north part of Seattle, and kind of spread the wealth around, maybe get more people engaged that way, rather than doing like one big show in one place. So that's just some ideas. I wanted to throw that open and see if there's any feedback for anybody who would like to participate or thinks it's a bad idea, whatever you'd like to share. Please go ahead.
If we hold it in this church parking lot and put a sign on the corner next to this very busy burger joint. And we could get a lot of walks through.
That's what I was thinking too. There's a lot of traffic here.
There's a lot of traffic.
Mhm.
We also have a standing offer from Burger Master.
That's right, Burger Master too. That's another place we could use. Would they be available on weekends? 'Cause that's like when they're busy. But yeah.
Advance notice, I'm sure these things could be accomplished because the owner has just